Welcome on in, everyone, to the Let's Talk Utes weekly Big 12 roundup. This is for week 4 of the college football season. Let's just jump right into it. Friday, September 12th. Is this the day that Gundy was, fired without being fired? Lost to Tulsa at home 19-12, and honestly, they were down 19-3. Like, it was worse than it looked.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma State's they're despicable. Zane Flores ends with a 25.9 QBR against Tulsa at home. Oklahoma State just doesn't have a good team. There's no talent on that team. I don't even know if it's Gundy's fault. He just doesn't have anything to work with.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like a team that NIL has just killed. I mean, the recruiting and the transfer portal has just not kept up for them. And I mean, they just don't have, it just doesn't seem like they have the money to really compete. It's just this era of college football, maybe not built for them like previous ones were.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Texas Tech at Utah. Texas Tech dominant win on the scoreboard, 34-10. It was a bit closer to that in actuality, one-score game in the fourth. But I mean, I thought Texas Tech looked really, really good. They looked strong at everything. Quarterback controversy viewing. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech proved that they were legit. This was like their prove it game. You bring in all these players in the transfer portal. People wonder, is this team really good? I think they've announced their arrival. They're here. They're dominant. Texas Tech right now in the driver's seat, in my opinion, for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, for sure. Totally agree with that. I thought the talent looked awesome for them. Moving on to the Iron Skillet game, SMU at TCU. TCU wins 35-24. And honestly, I thought it could have been a bigger win than that, honestly. TCU looks really strong to me. I think they have similar defensive concerns to last year, but I do think the defense has taken a step forward. But the offense, man, they are freaking good on offense. Hoover, he is so good at QB. Like, he is an awesome quarterback.
Yeah, Josh Hoover is completely dominating. And this was an awesome win, I think, for the Big 12 as a whole. Getting another win over SMU, who was a playoff team last year, another win over a power conference, super huge for the Big 12. And TCU is right up there at the top in the mix of Big 12 contenders.
Chapel Bill goes to UCF and gets dominated 34-9. UCF, maybe not as bad as people were predicting coming into the year. Scott Frost has got them rolling. They haven't played a super tough schedule yet. But I mean, honestly, great win for them. They continue to impress me. Taven Jackson, 223 yards, 1 touchdown, and also 66 yards on the ground. I mean, it looks like they definitely found their QB. I mean, I'm not sure that they're a contender in the Big 12, but I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, I for sure agree. They're definitely better than I expected. Like 3-0 is 3-0, dude. Like a win over North Carolina is very nice. That does make TCU's win over North Carolina slightly less impressive, in my opinion. But I'm still pretty high on TCU, and I'm higher on UCF than I was, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure. I think that I had them in the bottom tier. I think I would have slid them up, on my rankings, like when we redo it at midseason.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to West Virginia at Kansas. Kansas wins 41-10. Really, West Virginia couldn't get anything going on offense the whole day. Kansas and Jalen Daniels continue to look really, really solid. I think they're one of the upper tier teams in the Big 12. I think that people are still sleeping on them a little bit because I think the team they lost to in Missouri is one of the best in the country. I honestly think they're a top 15 team. And so I think Kansas has everything in front of it. I think they're a really good team.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a statement game, You lose to Missouri, but you come back and you say, hey, we're still here. We're still fighting for that Big 12 championship. Great win for Kansas. They're looking super dangerous.
Yeah, and then maybe the game of the day in the Big 12, Arizona State at Baylor. This was really impressive. I think all of us last week picked Baylor to win because we had thought Arizona State had looked kind of uninspiring so far. But honestly, their defense showed up. Holding that Sawyer Robertson offense to 24 points at home is a massive feat. That is extremely difficult to do. And getting 27 points, that's a good outcome. I wouldn't say that's an elite outcome, but I'd say it's really good. I mean, that's a huge win for ASU and Kenny Dillingham. I think that shows they're right back in the mix for the conference.
Yeah, I was selling on ASU way too early. They lost that game to Mississippi State, and I was like, oh man, looks like they're not dialed in. They're not going to be able to repeat what they did last year, but they're kind of winning me back with this. Like, this is a huge win. At Baylor winning this, extremely impressive, sets them up. They're already in a great position in terms of the Big 12 championship race.
I would not be surprised to see them, do some interesting things. Interesting game coming up next week. Let's start with the next week preview. TCU at Arizona State on a Friday night. This to
Yeah.
me is such a fascinating game. That is huge because those are two teams that I think could both realistically win the conference. And it's being played on a Friday night at Arizona State. What do you think about this game coming up, Landon?
It's going to be massive, dude. Late kick in Tempe. It's going to be, this might be the game to watch, truthfully, of the Big 12 this week. This is going to be an unbelievable performance. I'm excited to see if ASU's defense can repeat what they did against Baylor and hold TCU, under 30. I think if they do, they have a decent chance to win. ASU right now is favored by 3.5 in this game. I feel like I might just put it at a pick 'em, truthfully. I think this is freaking close. I think TCU is really good. So I'm excited. If I had to choose a team to win this, I'm going to ride with TCU here, but I do think it's going to be a good game.
But yeah, there's honestly nothing between these teams for me. Like they're so close as far as overall talent level, coaching and like what I think about them. It really is a pick 'em. And I mean, ASU minus 3.5 at home. That's basically Vegas saying this is a pick 'em on a neutral field. I think I'm gonna ride with ASU. I don't know. I just have a feeling. So I'm gonna go with ASU here, although it's really close. Another Friday night game, Houston at Oregon State. I think I've been pretty impressed with what Houston has been able to do so far. Honestly, like they took it to Colorado. Oregon State is just not good. They're 0-4. They're a pretty bad team. I've got Houston starting the season out 4-0 and really setting up for a promising season for them.
Yeah, not much to add here. I think Houston's pretty good. I don't think Oregon State's very good at all. So I've got Houston here as well.
Okay, Cincinnati at Kansas. I think this is an interesting game. We haven't seen a ton out of Cincinnati since their, opening week loss to Nebraska. I think they're good as a team and well coached. I think they just lack a little bit of dynamic talent. I'm going to go Kansas here. I'm going to keep riding with them. I'm going to go Kansas. Starts out the season 4-1 and 2-0 in Big 12 play and really announces themselves as, going to be one of the players in the Big 12 this year.
Yeah, I've got Kansas here as well. I think Cincinnati is actually a pretty decent team, but I think Kansas is honestly very good. So I'm riding with Kansas.
Okay, UCF at Kansas State. I think before the year, everyone was going to be like, oh, no contest here whatsoever. Kansas State, this is one of their easiest games of the year. They'll probably roll through. But you look up in week 5 and UCF is 3-0 and Kansas State is 1-3.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be a real game to test their culture, in my opinion. I think UCF is good. They've shown to be at least a decent team so far, and Kansas State has really not shown the ability to pull away. But coming off a bye, I'm going to go Kansas State slight edge here at home. I think they're going to bounce back, but it's going to be an extremely close game.
I was a bit surprised to see Kansas State's favored by 6.5 in this game, actually. I think a lot of that's just because it's at home. I'm going to go UCF to blow them out. I think Kansas State is the worst team in the Big 12. That's my take.
Yeah, they don't look good.
I think UCF, I think they win by 20 plus. This Kansas State team should have lost to North Dakota at home. And it's a bold prediction, but I don't know. I truly just have the feeling that Kansas State has completely quit this year.
I mean, it would make sense. I mean, they've looked terrible. They're 1-3, but they should be 0-4.
Here's my hot take. This is the last game Avery Johnson plays for Kansas State.
Oh, wow. You think they'll bench him?
He won't be the starter after this week.
I mean, I can't say it's not justified based on what we've seen so far this year.
I just think this will be it. He just has
massively regressed in every area.
I think they're going to be forced to go another direction after this game. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I mean, if you start out 1-4, you almost have to bench him. I think you do.
You do.
Yeah. Okay, Baylor at Oklahoma State. I don't anticipate either of us predicting this one to be close. I think Baylor just completely rolls over Oklahoma State. I think this is 55-7, honestly. I think that they're going to put it on them.
I feel like Baylor's the type of team to score 60, but then also weirdly allow you to score 28 somehow, even though your offense sucks because they just stop trying on defense.
But they only scored 12 on Tulsa. Baylor surely has a better defense.
They do
Tulsa,
for sure.
Right?
They do for sure. But when do they call off the dogs? Can Oklahoma State get some garbage time touchdowns? I am going to predict a 55 to 14 or 17 type game. And the fact that like predicting Oklahoma State to even score 17 and lose like
It's like bold
55-17,
prediction.
it's kind of respect to Oklahoma State's offense they haven't earned. But that's kind of what I'm
Yeah.
going with here.
Okay, really great game on Saturday prime time. Arizona at Iowa State. Arizona honestly started the season well, 3-0, and Iowa State obviously 4-0, you know, get some suspect competition so far. I don't feel like I have a really great feel for how this game is going to go. I'm one that thinks Iowa State has been looked good, but not super impressive so far. I don't think they've really beaten anyone that I think is a good team. Yeah. What do you think about this game, Landon?
I'm predicting the upset here. I think Arizona beats Iowa State. I honestly, I like Noah Fafita more than Rocco Becht. I think he's a better quarterback. I also like the running back that Arizona has way better than any skill player on Iowa
That
State's
guy's a
team.
beast.
Maudie, he is so good. I like Arizona here. I think they're going to be able to take down Iowa State.
I think I'm going to go Iowa State, but extremely close here. Like this is like a field goal type game. I think that Arizona State, I mean Arizona, sorry. Arizona does have the talent to win this game. But I think what we saw versus Kansas State is that they were just blowing them out, honestly. They were dominating them in everything but the scoreboard. They could not put it away. They kept giving Kansas State chances to get back in it. And I think if they do that against Iowa State is good enough to take advantage and maybe squeak out a win at home here. Okay, late game, BYU at Colorado. Colorado coming off a win against Wyoming, 2-2 on the season, losses to a good Georgia Tech team and, you know, pretty good Houston team. BYU, really mystery box. I mean, hasn't played anyone yet. The defense looks good. The offense looks, you know, extremely suspect so far. I think I'm going to go Colorado here. Home game, I think Caden Salter, they finally come back to him. They settled on him. I think they just have more talent across the board than BYU, but I anticipate this to be a really low-scoring game that Colorado wins.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Late kick in Colorado. I think you could expect some mistakes from BYU's freshman quarterback. I just think that Colorado will be able to get it done in a low scoring. I would not be shocked at like a 14-10 type game. I really think that's
neither.
in the cards.
I totally agree. Yeah, and I think that BYU's front seven has looked really good against subpar talent. I wonder if there are some cracks there against like actual guys that can, you know, can run and that have size.
Mm-hmm.
Almost similar to how Utah's offense, you know, showed all their cracks against Texas Tech that could match up with their speed and talent.
Exactly. And Colorado's definitely not like a Texas Tech in terms of talent, but they are, you know, a decent team.
Yeah.